control our market. So the traders want to partner with government. The traders want to control the market. Whosoever is giving them backing to oppress the poor masses, we shall expose that person from Benin to Abuja, from Abuja to Lagos, from Lagos to Port Harcourt.
Hello, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Uncommon Emmanuel. I want to specially welcome you to yet another wonderful edition of our program, Business Today. And you know how we do it on the program. We tend to give you and keep you in the know and also update you on happenings in the stock market, happenings all around the economy, in the government sector, as well as the private sector. And short today will not be exceptional. Once again, welcome to our program today. But before we go on, we need to see what the papers are saying. We're looking at the business papers for today. Then when we're done, we'll come and unveil our topic. Then we'll discuss with our guests. Stick around with us. All right, we're working with the Business Day newspaper, and we have the boldest headline that says manufacturer losses drop to 223 billion naira as FX pressure eases. Also, ownership battles rages at Nigeria's oldest bank. That's talking about Union Bank. Telecoms see investment shrink as returns on capital turns negative. Why analysts see inflation declining in July. Also, we have Nigerians lament slow takeoff as Tinubu launches innocent CNG buses. And it seems Mr. President is staying with what he has said. Subsidy really is gone. And Dangote here is doing a rebooter. Dangote refinery denies fixing petrol price at 600 naira per litre. And India and Nigeria take most UK jobs, and that's credited to reports. Nigerians take most UK jobs, and that's credited to reports. Akwa Ibom State Governor's WhatsApp hack admits raising fraud cases. And we have Naira records first loss as external reserve declined by 0.68%. All right, high inflation, 67% of MSMEs seen declining demand, and that's credited to PwC. All right, you can grab a copy, soft or hard copy of your favorite paper to get yourself updated as regards the happenings for today. All right, we'll go straight to our conversation. And we'll have a guest this afternoon who will be doing justice to our conversation. 38 days to the governorship election here in Edo State. Political bigwigs, as well as candidates, political parties, as well as all political players, INEC, political bodies, they are getting ready fully for the elections. And we are here this afternoon to look at one of the aspirants for the forthcoming election and how prepared the aspirant is for the election. And we're going to be looking at some standing leadership quality. And your guest is as good as mine. We want to unveil our guest this afternoon. It's no other person than Dr. Amata. Doctor, good afternoon this afternoon.
Good afternoon. Always a pleasure to be here.
Always a pleasure to be here. 38 days to the Edo State governorship election. 21st of September, Edo Light will be going to the polls again. What are your fears, especially when it comes to Edo State 21st September elections?
Well, my fears, they are very limited, very minute fears. I trust the Edo electorate. They are by far some of the sophisticated voters we have in Nigeria. I mean the Edo people. They know what they want, and they will go after what they want on the 21st of September. My only little fear is the weaponization of poverty by some elements who claim to be politicians, using money to buy votes and creating insecurity on election day, ballot snatching, and gangsterism. Those are the little fears I have. But I trust the security people, the police, the army, that will be detailed on the date to checkmate all of these elements. I'm sure we'll have a pretty good day on the 21st of election.
All right.
21st of September, rather.
21st of September. Dr. Kelly Amata, let's look at, give us a rundown of the leadership background of your candidate. That's talking about the candidate of the People Democratic Party, PDP. Give us a kind of leadership rundown. What has in the past your candidate been involved in that give him the temerity to want to vie for the #1 position here in Edo State?
My candidate is obviously Asue Ighodalo, the gubernatorial candidate of the PDP. I also always want to look at the man from 4 key perspectives. Asue Ighodalo, the family man. Asue Ighodalo, the lawyer. Asue Ighodalo, the businessman. And Asue Ighodalo, the politician. If you look at these 4 critical aspects of the man's life, you will know that we have a gem in our hands. The ideal leader that will lead Edo State, from where Obaseki has stopped. We have somebody who is a trailblazer, a visionary, a goal-getter. As a family man, I will always want to look at a man from home. It is said that charity begins at home.
Obviously.
He is married to 1 wife, has 2 beautiful daughters. When you look at it typically from the perspective of the African tradition, a man will want to have a son, desperately want to have a son. But Asue, at 63 years old, is content with 2 daughters. It says a lot about his kind of person. It's not a desperate person. It's a contented person. And I believe that quality, bringing that quality to Edo State House, the government house, will also help to secure our natural resources.
We have governors who are polygamists. Are you saying they are disqualified by being polygamists?
Well, there's a problem to polygamy in my eyes, because the polygamist, his attention is thrown here and there. You have to manage one crisis after the other. The quality of a man to manage one woman, to me, is better to manage. It takes a lot to manage one woman than manage 2, 3, 4, 5 women. You cannot. If a man who has many wives, it just, whether their emotions is attended to or not, that is not his business. It's just, if this one doesn't behave, it turns over to the other one.
Somebody can opposition can argue effectively by saying we had a president in Nigeria at one point in our political history that had more than 1 wife, and we now saw how there was before he chose one to become the first lady, and we've seen senators, senators, House of Rep members who have more than 1. So how does that stand out your candidate, your principal?
Well, I wouldn't want to focus much on the issue of 1 wife or not, but my focus on him as a family man is having 2 daughters and being content with 2 daughters. And looking at it from the African perspective, the typical African man wants to have at least 1 son. And there has not been any controversy, the case of side chick, with a man of his exposure and experience. You would think that maybe you have one hidden family, secret family somewhere, a woman that is trying to get a son with. That is not the case with Asue Ighodalo. So I see him as a contented family man. And we know that the foundation for public success is private success.
Sure.
The success he has recorded at his family level will bode well, in seeing to it that he makes his success when voted as governor of Edo State. Then going up from there, Asue Ighodalo as the lawyer. There are many lawyers in Nigeria, but this man stands out. He's a founding partner of Bawo and Ighodalo, a local and international law firm of great renown that has scored wonderful goals, achieved so much, in the oil sector, the banking sector, among other sectors that they have forayed into. And then as a lawyer, as a co-founder of Bawo and Ighodalo, it's on record that they believe so much in human capital development. Every lawyer that has worked in that law firm, you attest to you that they send them abroad, equip them, with better knowledge, train them in best schools abroad, in Harvard, from the coffers of the organization, that the man could accept that, do that as in private practice.
Says a lot.
Says a lot. When it comes to the government system running Edo State, he will surely do well in human capital development, bringing out the best of the Edo youth, of the Edo people. We already see that Obaseki has laid a solid foundation with the Edo Hub and other systems Obaseki has set down. So we thought with Asue Ighodalo, building on that solid foundation, do still be better off for it.
Because it seems part of what you have said is your candidate, your principal, talking about Asue Ighodalo continuing from where the incumbent governor has stopped. But beyond that, what are some of your candidates? What is your candidate's vision for the state? And how does he intend to implement these visions? Because we must begin to ask these questions, must begin to interrogate and put the spotlight on the candidate as the September 21st election draws near.
Well, he has made his manifesto public. It's out there. And every conversation, he has buttressed every point of his vision for Edo State. One of which I just mentioned, human capital development. There is vision to develop agriculture. Edo State happens to be one of the few states in Nigeria that has the best soil, for any produce you want to produce from the agricultural sector, fish farming, pig farming, snail farming, every aspect of agriculture. Agriculture is one of the areas it's aiming at. There is also the other part of Asue Ighodalo, sports. He's an avid supporter of Arsenal. And is it Arsenal or Manchester United? I can't really recall it, but I've seen him talk about football, sports. Yeah, he's going to do a lot of investment. If you recall, in 1985, Edo State produced quite a number of players who won the first Under-17 World Cup for Nigeria, 1985. And ever since then, Edo has been obscure. Grassroots football has been at the lowest ebb until Obaseki came up and revamped Bendel Insurance. I'm very certain that insurance will be a brand under the leadership of Asue Ighodalo. Education is also a part of the agenda of the Asue Ighodalo Oge governorship. Once they come into power, there is a plan to pump so much money into education. Then there is the issue of employment, industrialization of the state. Obaseki has done well. We have two major power stations in Edo State. Asue has promised to leverage on those power stations to attract foreign direct investment into the state, to build factories, to work on the issue of low level of employment that has been the bane of Edo State for so many years until the Obaseki government came into
as lofty as these manifestos, as lofty as this postulation by your principal, we have a trust issue between those who occupy public offices and the people. That trust issue has subsisted, it's ongoing, and we still have that issue of trust when it comes to those in leadership and the people. How is your candidate, how will he build and maintain public trust in a situation or in a time where skepticism is the order of the day?
I think the issue of trust is down to a lack of trust, is down to lack of communication. If you watch Asue Ighodalo, he is very good at communicating his visions and goals for Edo State. He has gone to every ward, every local government. You see him in the marketplace talking with the bus driver, the market woman, the man on the street. He's a good communicator of his vision. That places him in a position of responsibility, because a man who talks is selling you a product so that you can hold him accountable when the time comes. So he's communicating his visions, his goals effectively, because he's going to see to it that he does as he has said. The trust issue will not be an issue with Asue Ighodalo based on his precedence. He has scored major goals as a lawyer, as a banker. He did very well as the chairman of Sterling Bank. The records are there for him. He has done very well as a chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit. He has done outstanding well. So he's a man that can be trusted. We can take him at his word. And Edo people being what they are, the Edo man will look at you in the face and tell it to you that, look, you have messed up, you have failed. So he knows this very well, and I'm sure he's up to the task.
Up to the task. Obviously, during in the forthcoming election, we have a whole lot of options to vote for. We have so many political parties to choose from. According to the records made available by INEC, we know we have about 18 political parties vying for the #1 seat in Edo State. Now, this brings us to the question. Now, looking at other candidates now, what actually stand your candidate out? Now, what are those? What stand your candidate out, and why should Edo people choose your candidate over others in the forthcoming election? As we begin to round up.
Like one of the soft drink brands said some years ago, the difference is clear. It's clear as night is different from daytime. Asue Ighodalo stands out in the crowd. Number one, his professional background, his foray into developing economic policies for Nigeria, his international connections, his ability to relate with both the private sector and the public sector, which he has been doing over the years, stands him out. There is no other candidate in Edo State, the forthcoming election per se, that can stand shoulder to shoulder with Asue Ighodalo. When you look at his antecedents, his professional career, and other factors, you see he's communicating. We're not even hearing from the other 17 candidates. It seems like those ones are trusting that we just see their billboard and say, yes, this one we will vote for in Edo State. But the Edo State electorate, they are sophisticated. They want to hear from you. We don't want to vote for candidates who others are speaking for. We don't want a governor that will use sign language to serve us in Edo State. We don't want a governor that will allow us to start speculating what he will do and what he cannot do. There is one that says that they are more work, less talk. No, we need a governor that can talk and a governor who walks the talk. We saw 8 years of a Buhari government that was totally quiet, no matter the cries on the streets of Nigeria. Buhari never had the time to talk to Nigerians. We don't want that in Edo State. Edo State people are highly educated. They are very cerebral. They are people who demand for respect and deserve to be respected. So Asue Ighodalo, his ability to communicate stands him out. You know, now during the campaign, you go to the streets, the word on the street is Asue Ighodalo, because he is everywhere talking to Edo people. That shows respect. Let me quote from the Bible. When King Solomon was anointed as king over Israel, he prayed a prayer. He said, God, you have made me king in the place of my father over this your great people. He had respect for the people of Israel. That was one reason why he succeeded. We don't want governors who don't have respect, regards for the people. We don't want a governor who will say to hell with the people. The one we had the other day that said to the widow, you are widow, go and die. We don't want a governor who will turn shop right to shop dead, like the former governor said during the rally they held, I think that was yesterday in Edo State. We don't want a governor who is condescending, but a governor who has respect for the Edo people. We look at the traditional institutions in Edo State. The Oba of Benin has respect for the people, as one of the people has respect for the Oba and the stool. So we want a governor in Osadebe Avenue who will have absolute respect for the people, who will feel the pains of the Edo people, who will get feedback, direct feedback from the people, not one who will seclude himself and turn our government house into a monastery where you have to pray and fast before you can have audience with the governor. We want a governor who will be in the face of the people, and the people will be in his face. And Asue Ighodalo is that man.
All right, you have heard from Dr. Kevin Amata, giving us the outstanding quality of his principal, talking about the governorship candidate of the People Democratic Party. Thank you for coming. We trust going to have more conversation as the election day draws closer. 38 days to go is still a whole lot, and you know, a night is enough to swing the tides when it comes to the political terrain. All right, we'll talk about ease of doing business. That will be our next conversation. Join us on the program after the short break. We're going to be having entrepreneurs telling us how the ease of doing business here in Edo State. Practical, hands-on, and it's sure going to be inspiring. Sit back. It continues after the short break.
Community leaders will control our market. So the traders want to partner with government. The traders want to control the market. Whosoever is giving them backing to oppress the poor masses, we shall expose them.